I like the way you kiss me.
I don't know what time I got home last night. Everyone was just dancing in the club. Low ceiling, black walls, moonlight. Everything was hazy.
Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, men's, ladies? Welcome to a new episode of this disaster of life.
I can never get enough.
What's up? What's up? Yeah, I have to put down just a bit the music because it's too much to me. Today we are going to take a look of a podcast that just one really cool and interesting channel just put out. The name is Will Clark, and he's doing a podcast about the music stuff and these kind of things. And something that I really want to do now is to be able to talk about this kind of industry. I have my own podcast too, but it's on Spanish. It's different from these kind of things. I don't have the chance to talk on these kind of things. What I really want to do on this, I don't know if it's gonna be a short live streaming, but in this live streaming is talk about this podcast. Yeah, let's dive into what they talk about Maupi life and Maupi history in these kind of things, because it's really interesting. It really matters how people nowadays just think about the music and how it's evolving everything, and really matters to me because I'm on the way. I'm trying to reach out to that kind of certain level.
Never get enough.
So this one it will be like the history between Mauricio West, that's the name, and Maupi, the evolution that it's on between. So yeah, hope you like it. Hope you have fun with me at the same time. Let's try to dive into these kind of things. So yeah, I'm going to share the screen. Be talking with you at the same time, just in case that you really like it, because yeah, it's really interesting. So first of all, let's put this one here. Maybe I should be bigger, these kind of things, because we are going to talk more.
Good, everybody. Hope you are having a wonderful day so far and a wonderful week. Before we start, I'd love it if you could give us a subscribe, give us a comment, share it. This podcast description, any intro. What's cooking, man?
What's cooking? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Cannot complain at all. The sun is shining in the UK, which is a rarity.
No
So
way.
I'm happy. Where are you?
I'm in Amsterdam.
Okay, you're feeling the same then.
I'm in Amsterdam.
We have
Of
like
course,
1
man.
month of nice
Yeah,
weather
on Amsterdam.
every year. So that I get like this
But yeah,
month.
even he's doing
Love it, man.
really well
Love it.
with all the shows that nowadays it has. He has. Just for a quick check here on Spotify, we can check that yeah, Maurice Small P. He has have like the big record of all time is drugs for Amsterdam. Everyone has know this one. Give me that bounce. Both of them are really good ones. The others that recently he has deployed beats from the underground and these kind of things are more different in this kind of things. It's not similar. It's house and this kind of tech house and all the it's weird, yeah. It's different. But the main record that he released on 2022 was Drums for Amsterdam. And yeah, Malby is not the first record on the first artist name that he has. So yeah, let's check it. Even what's the number of listeners, monthly listeners? 5 millions. Yeah, it's huge now these days.
I want to go. Maurice West was what I knew you as initially.
Right. I'm surprised you even knew
you there?
Maurice West.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, dude, just got to keep your ears on the ground. Knowing your Malpy stuff, and
it's cool because he just thought that Malpy is more well known. Mauricio West is not known at all, but yeah, it's well known. Mauricio West, even on the last, you can check on the last video that he posted on YouTube. A lot of comments just saying that it was the best one, best than these kind of shows that he's doing right now and these kind of things. But yeah, in this podcast he will talk about these kind of things, and that's why I would like to comment this kind of ideas, because I just have myself getting chatting just with my own and I decided, yeah, should we try to share these things. He just started with the talent pool and these kind of things on Spinning Records on 2014. Back in the time, back these days, it was kind of the way to come up and start, because Spinning was winning really good attention as a main label, but there on Netherlands electronic music was popular, but Spinning Records wasn't like now these days. Even the evolution of different brands that Spinning Records have nowadays, that's, for example, the example of the Tiesto thing and the Tiesto and yeah, and the Tiesto label. So that's something that it's really cool. Even we can hear this one. It's more EDM, the type of thing that you will think about the Spaceman and this kind of hardware things, you know, the big room and these kind of things. Yeah, build up and yeah, drop. Even these kind of layers of leads, it's similar to Nicky Romero. What was Boulevard. I don't know what's the name of, but yeah, we all know this kind of sound. He was so popular at this time, and yeah, he even published on really huge labels with really huge people like W and W, and it's weird because he just decided that, yeah, let's cut here and start doing something different. And that's something that, yeah, you can search here. If you search Maurice West, he just have like a totally different type of vibe and things. And one of my, yeah, I was looking this one, and one of the first songs that he has that I really like, because I just known her his own name about, no, maybe we are around 2000, yeah, 2001, at the end of the pandemic, but it was it was kind of weird on these kind of things. Yeah, I'm searching about what's the sound that I really like. Rolling, no, it's not this one. Pullers, no, loop, because even he published on Urn Armada and this kind of thing. So yeah, it was kind of really popular. So yes, he just decided, yeah, to end up the project and switch up everything just to start a new way. It's not this one. What is the track that I really like from Resurrection? Everything we touch, don't. Skies turn dark. Yeah, this one, if I search here Maurice West, Sky turns dark, I just searching this one because, yeah, here on Armada we killed
when the sky turns dark, will we be side by side?
This one is like 2 years ago. Yep. It's completely different.
When the sky turns dark, will we be side by side?
Section. So as you can see, he just moved in between big room, later on trance, later on this kind of 80 vibes, but at the same time kind of on the middle of this evolution of big room and EDM, when just get so popular and later on just change everything. So this one is a good track, but at the same time you can hear main elements that he is using right now as tech house, even on this build up with the space, this kind of synth, but it's totally different, the vibes that he has created. It's the same, that kick drum and this rolling effect is mainly the same, but the drop is totally different. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, and that's why he just talk about
and seeing you break out onto the scene as with Drugs from Amsterdam record on Repopulate. I kind of just want to really get into. There's a lot to dig into this, which is really interesting. And I think first of all the juxtaposition between Maurice West and Mal P, but also why and how. Yeah. And there's a lot to talk about that. So first of all, I want to kind of congratulate you.
Thank you.
Having two projects that are extremely successful, on a global scale is unheard of nowadays. So congrats on that one. It's pretty special.
Thank you, sir.
How the fuck did you do it?
I don't even deem the first project too successful, if I'm being honest. Like, to me, I was always doing the Maurice West stuff, and I always sort of felt held back, if that makes sense. Like, I was always looking at other DJs that were in the same sort of sound or universe, whatever, and I'm like, why are they succeeding in that way, and why is it not working for me? And I always was pretty rational. I thought, like, I know music, I know, like, I think I'm a good DJ, I think I'm a good producer, I know how the scene works, I know what I want, I have the vision, but it's just not, something was just not connecting in some way, you know? And I mean, the career was really fun. Like, I played really big festivals, and there was like a small fan base, and the releases were doing good, and like the big DJs, like the big EDM DJs already hit me up for remixes and stuff and whatever, but it never really got to a point where it felt like organic to me, where I felt like I had this group of people that I could just feed stuff and it would work.
That's what I say, yes. At the first time, that he just don't feel that he's proud of the Maurice West, even that the quality is so good, even he's just published Urama, these kind of things, that kind of he just have like the normal path that really well-known DJs from Netherlands just have on the past. Yes, just starting on the right spot, right moment. You have the contacts, you know, to be able to learn how to produce at least some kind of to be able to be on the talent pool. And yeah, that's it. That's how he evolved. But he just have the feeling that he doesn't doing the right thing, even just to be able to create what he just thought it was her own style and his own music. And that's kind of great and bad at the same time, because he's able to understand how to create music, how to do work projects that even got signed on different kind of labels, because he just started on the right spot. Nowadays music just changed so much on these kind of things, and that's even what is weird, and at the same time something just to study, and that this genius have to teach to others and it's about he has created like a theme for a short period of time, and that's how he's working nowadays, the music. Even you can have the contacts, you can have the ability to be able to fix your sound, to know others' opinion, to be able to to work with others, and learn more than someone on her own bedroom studio doing nothing nowadays, because the quality nowadays is so high, really really high. He is creative.
Sort of like I was still digging for the gold or the diamonds, I guess, and part of that digging turned into like the switch up that became Maupi.
Yeah. Why do you think the Maurice West, in your eyes, because I think this is all like personal opinion, right? And obviously I think from an outsider's point of view, somebody may have been like, Maurice West was an absolutely killing and was doing the most successful career you could ever think of, right? And in your own mind, I can relate to that massively. I can relate to that in my career, where like from an outsider's point of view, people think you're absolutely killing it. Deep down inside, you think that there's something that you've got a lot more to prove and a lot more to show people, but there's also a level of luck just doesn't fall in your path.
No, 100%.
So I think what is success to you?
That's a deep question.
Because one of the main things on these kind of things is like Sky Turns Dark was like my first record that I know from Mauricio West and Mao P. And it was like I just have a project on Ableton that I'm able to show you, but it's so weird that has this one as a reference to be able to study how he just create this melody and this evolution.
I guess
but
to
at the same
me, I
time,
sort of
it's
needed
understandable.
the validation from the like the big guys that I was really looking up to, and
Yeah.
from like
Yeah.
I think for me, success is always about making an impact on like the scene. Like I want to leave something behind, and I want to bring something that like nobody has done yet, and they're like, oh wow, so the scene got a little bit of a kick, and now it's going this way because I did something. You know, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So the funny thing was, before Drugs from Amsterdam, I was actually making or trying to make like more radio focused stuff for Mari's West because I really wanted to be played on the radio. And I told my manager and my friends, like, if this is not going to work, then I don't know what I'm going to do, because like it was 4 songs and I felt like they had huge potential, but maybe, as you said, like the luck just wasn't on my side, or the universe wasn't on my side at that point. And then after that happened, I just
Even
sort of became,
he has,
I don't want to say careless, but like a little bit more
universe
freestyle
on
or something. And I
his own
just
side.
tried making like more house techno orientated
thinking the
stuff
same.
because it was COVID, and that's the only thing I was hearing at like these illegal house parties, whatever, because no one in Amsterdam was like playing big room or whatever anymore for a couple of years already. And so when I made Drugs from Amsterdam, it was so, I wasn't thinking about, oh, this has to live up to this certain expectation, or it has to become the biggest hit ever, because I was just making house music because I felt like doing that and I loved it, and I just tried to make something really fresh and something exciting, and that was what that was.
Different.
Yeah.
And then it turned into the my biggest song ever, which was also sort of like a contrast, because we tried to be like, I wanted to be like, start over again and do like the whole underground thing, and you know, see where that would bring me, but then it sort of reversed and do something else.
Yeah, you kind of got what you were trying to always do when just
So
giving
weird.
up.
Yeah.
I think there's a beautiful art in that, though, in the fact of just giving up.
Yeah.
Right? And I know it sounds crazy.
It's something that you have to think about all the time. I'm just here alone with myself talking, and you always think about giving up, even that you know that you have like something in particular that even maybe I'm not at the top level, I'm not able to give my 100% level, but I know for several years that I've been working on, even more than my half life, to be honest, on music. And you have the feeling that maybe it's time to giving up. But when you think to giving up, it's like how you reinvent yourself, how you redo what are you doing. And this kind of the main element that I really like on these kind of things, because I'm even thinking so much about my project, how you have to evolve these kind of things, and this is something that you have to learn on this kind of cases, where people just think about, okay, I'm doing great, I have the big names around me, people maybe like it, but now the system is changing. Now this style is not popular anymore. I just did this with this style just because it was popular at 2014, and now on 2023 it's not. So it's something really common, but you have to avoid even that particular points where you are just going back and forward. Even the main elements that nowadays get huge recognition is people like Maupi, John Summit, Dom Dola. You can to think about even Avillon band. This kind of weird projects, maybe on a starter house, maybe on other styles, but evolving this kind of idea of the music and trying to create something that people would like to be able to play, even in her own house and on TikTok. That is the main reason nowadays, and later on a disco, on a pub, and that kind of things.
I've just done a podcast with somebody as well, with a guy called Elijah, who I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram, but he does like a lot of, like it's almost like what Ruben does, like inspirational talks, but like just through writing.
Okay.
But it's also, he was also talking about like the art of like actually just stopping a project and then starting something new.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to just like get caught up, and I think if you didn't do Drugs from Amsterdam and you were just not even thinking about doing something different, but you were still pushing on that Maurice West, would you be where you're at today?
No, 100% not.
And I think that's it, right? It's like sometimes the art of saying enough's enough, this project's done, I'm moving on to the next thing is something special. But was there
not even that? It's maybe like I've also noticed back in the day when I made songs for other people, which I didn't do a lot, but like I tried it a couple times.
Because
I would be so like freed from any overthinking, like the decisions would be so quick because I wouldn't care. Like, are people going to hear that sound is from that sample pack, and is it cool enough, and blah blah blah. No, it's just like I would just create, and like the only purpose is the song has to work. That's it. So maybe because I let go of like the strain of thought that this has to be for Maurice West, and it still has to fit in this sort of box. Because there was no
it's really difficult to have like a live
something completely free. Even now, I'm still trying to chase the same like energy that I had when I was making Drugs from Amsterdam and Give Me That Bounce and Metro, because funny enough, they were all made in the same, I think, 2 months.
And they're your 3 biggest records.
Yeah, biggest.
They're still flogging a dead hole.
One of the main reasons that he just talk about this kind of weird things is like, just quick, okay? I don't want to extend this so much, but he just created Drugs from Amsterdam. That, in my opinion, he just have like help or something like that, because it's weird how well done is just create this one. It's so similar to Chris Lake, to Fisher, and these kind of things that we are always thinking, and even Skrillex on this kind of roles.
Off my face, don't know where I am.
This one.
Because I got my drugs from Amsterdam.
This one, other one, Give Me a Bounce, and it's kind of the same. Always. And Metro is totally different, even with Kevin DeBryce. It's like melodic techno, and you have like someone doing 2 different things. Yes, as a name, a common name.
For people that are a little confused, like what does that say to like?
And that's something that
to creativity.
I guess
it's really cool.
I wouldn't say you have to stop caring, but you have to, I mean, you have to be really well informed and like have knowledge of what was in the past. Like for me, like culturally, Drugs from Amsterdam sounded like 90s rave. That was sort of the inspiration, like with the stabs and the super saws and the, and it was that mixed with modern day tech house.
Yeah.
So that to me was really fresh. But I was just having fun. I was not like, I was being very like calculated, but not restrained, if that makes sense. So I don't know what the lesson is there. I'm still trying to find out too.
Because that's
I think there's something kind of beautiful about it though, because not when you're, I think it's so easy in this industry, right? And you might be able to relate, but you're going into the studio, we're consuming social media left, right, and center. We're consuming the business side of this industry. Like we're talking to managers, we're talking to our agents, we're talking to our social media team. Everyone around us is like, okay, you're this on this show, you're this person's headlining. Oh, this person last week sold this many tickets in this club. Like you're only at this amount of tickets. Blah blah blah. Like there's always comparison, right? Which I think there's a level of that that's healthy. But I think in an artist mindset is that comparison literally is kind of like, in certain ways it can literally control our whole studio sessions and what we write. And I think when I go into the studio going, fuck, what's popping off right now, or what's going to be the next, or who's the artist that I need to be aligned with, or who's that, it kind of just completely destroys all
The
creativity.
reference
Yeah.
that you are
When
able
you're
to
starting,
have.
when you're Maurice West, and then you start out as Mal P, there's no expectations.
No.
You don't care.
That's it. There's no way to like get in that same energy again.
But it's at the same time, it's kind of, yeah, you don't care about it, but at the same time you are doing something that is quite popular, like it was tech house and is nowadays too. But that's the reason I have songs that I will never put out that some people would like, but some labels just tag it as niche, something like a small amount of people will listen about. And even nowadays that I don't have on a Spotify profile, it's just because I'm not able to find out someone on some label on some some tracks that will be signed up to be able to have my own evolution. And even that's something that I really like about me, and about the different kind of things that you can create different kind of sounds, you can create different kind of styles. And nowadays people like to be able to switch in between, kind of. But at the same time, Maupi has created here something with an structure. It's not something in particular that you say, okay, I just have my idea, I just came off and yeah, man, so good, so chill out, and yeah, it was a nice project. No, because he just have like the main hook, the main intro. He just thought about the progression of the sound and how the song will evolve. And that's something in particular that you have to be able to stay on the industry, to be able to understand really well what is needed, and that someone inside of the industry you will show you this one and tell to you that yeah, this is correct, this is a good one. And that's something that is really frustrating as an artist, even if you have like 15 years producing music and trying to reach this kind of certain level. Maybe they create this kind of sounds by their own themselves, but they have to learn from others. And that's something in particular that they don't talk about this one here. When you stay on your own room doing these kind of things, it's different nowadays. It's really different because the level is so high, and this track represents that on every aspect.
Then probably.
Okay, but Malpi, your first record, is Drugs from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the pressure like after that?
Well,
yeah,
when Drugs from Amsterdam did what it did, I had Gimme That Bounce almost finished, but once I understood why Drugs from Amsterdam worked, I was able to finish Gimme That Bounce, which was beautiful because like I sort of understood what the people wanted, I guess.
Yep.
But I already had this completely new, super fresh idea that was like a perfect follow-up. So for me, there was no pressure, which I'm like super blessed and thankful for. But
that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. There's no pressure.
Now when I release a song, I knew exactly like how many streams Drugs from Amsterdam did on the first day. So I'm always like comparing, and like I guess I'm just like a numbers guy, which is like messed up. But
that's
how many streams did Drugs from Amsterdam do on the first day?
I remember I was flying to Singapore for a Maurice West show, the like one of the last ones, and it was at like this pretty commercial club. It was Marquee Singapore.
Yeah.
And I was already playing like house and techno stuff as Maurice West because I just didn't care anymore. And they wanted me to play like old school, like big room and EDM stuff. And I was very close to like canceling that show because I just couldn't.
Yeah.
But I ended up just doing like a sort of in between where it was still like cool to me. And then I remember it was going to be released while I was flying to Singapore. And on the flight, I was like praying, like, I hope this does like 100,000 streams in a day because it had so much hype on TikTok. I was like wishing for that to translate to like actual Spotify streams. And then I remember after the show, before I went to sleep, which was like almost one whole day, it had like 200,000. So then I was like, okay, we're on the right track here.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that feel waking up when your first record on a new project has had 200,000 streams on the first day?
It wasn't only that, it was so crazy. Like everything was happening at the same time. Like there big DJ was sending like a DM. They wanted to do like a remix or whatever. And Chesto was talking to me, and whoever you can name right now was talking to me, and Calvin Harris, and like all these guys that I've been looking at through my laptop screen since I was 14.
Yeah.
So like that's super crazy. But I keep saying this, but I'm so happy that this happened for me when I was like 26 and not like 18.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like messed up.
Well, I think this is the thing is I talk about this quite often on this podcast, and people will probably think that it's a broken record. But I generally think that sometimes having a hit record early on in your career, although you're still young, if you know what I mean, although like I'm still young, I'm older than you, but I'm still young in the grand scheme of this life. I'm 33.
Yeah, that's right.
But like I feel like having a hit record early on in your career
you look good.
Can be the worst possible thing. It could also be the best possible thing, but most people that I've seen that have had huge hits within the first like year of their career just doesn't last, in the sense of that pressure that gets put on them regularly by our next record always has to perform as well as that big record. When in the grand scheme of things, like I want you to have a record bigger than Drugs from Amsterdam, but like for you to put that pressure on yourself, it's so stupid. It's pointless, because it's like you can't control anything, right? We have zero control over this. But I think the thing is the fortunate thing is where you're at in your career, you've had a whole career beforehand.
Exactly.
You've seen the people go and come, and you've seen the ups and downs of the career, and you've had you've had the struggle of a career.
Yeah.
And I think
that's the main thing.
That's something so important about knowing that the hit record, yes, although it can change your life, it can also ruin your career if it happens too early.
Yeah. I've also seen a lot of acts that hadn't figured out their sound yet, and then they had a hit record in a style or a sound that they weren't really behind, or maybe at the time they were, but like a year later they're playing like a completely different style of music in their sets, just because they, as a person, they want to, and they want to be a different artist than what they were like pushed forward to. And then, you know, that really hurts to watch, because that could have been me, you know, because I was like so all over the place, like in between progressive house, big room, EDM. All my friends were listening to house and like minimal stuff from Amsterdam, and you know, I grew up with like Awakenings, techno. So I'm happy that I, you know, made the choice to go like completely from point blank. So, okay, here's Mal P. Drugs from Amsterdam is the first thing you get, and then, you know, let's see from there. And I'm still behind everything what I do, like 100%. So yeah, that's the hard part too about it.
How has your family taken this?
They're really happy. My mom's really happy. My dad passed away when I was 18, so
sorry.
No worries. And my sister's also really happy, but she's the only one in the family that's not like musical. So she was always like giving me shit for that, because she was really good at school.
That happens all the time.
And I ended up like
that people in your family
like I got lucky a little bit, you know.
What are you doing? At least you are doing.
It must be an interesting one for you. When did you start Maurice West?
I think I had my first release when I was like 19 or 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did like a good. So
young, man.
Malpi started 2022, right?
Damn.
Yeah.
So you had a good year of good shift in Maurice West.
Place.
Do you still have the same team?
I've always had the same manager. His name is Julius, and like I've known him since I was 16. And we met because of a mutual friend, and he was making. Julius was trying to produce like music too, but then he showed me like what was supposed to be his song, but then I just recognized it was a remake that he downloaded the project file off of YouTube. I was like, this is not your song. He's like, okay, you're right. Fine, I'll sell all my stuff and I'll, you know, handle everything so you can be the artist. I'll do the boring paperwork stuff and the business stuff. And he never stopped doing that. So that's like, he's amazing. And then
he just talked about, he just knew her own manager even before to release one song on Talent Pool. Damn, this just represent how the industry works. You have to be able to have contacts even before to be able to do whatever it takes. Maybe you can upload what you want on Spotify as an independent artist, but man, maybe this will change my mind on future. And on the next year I'm talking about different kind of things, but now I just have this kind of feeling, even with this kind of variety of styles.
Tommy, who does all my like content and photography and videography, and that's like the core, like us three, and then the rest just, I never had a big team for Maurice West. I just like, now I have like a decent sized team, but that was only because of the success. Going back to your manager, how important is it for you to have been with him for that long, and for both of you to kind of evolve as human beings mostly? I think it's one of the most important things of my career, to be honest, because also when Drugs from Amsterdam happened, I got so many offers from other managers, from people that I like never met before. who were like on the business aspect, that was a good move for them to like approach me. But like, for me, probably I was just for them like a tool to make more money.
Of course,
I guess, and I see that and I understand that. But it's me and Julius can just always, at any point of the day, discuss anything that we want. And it's always like straight up. There's no bullshit, and we know exactly like what I need, what he needs, and it's just like very natural. It's like working with your family, basically.
It's so important. There's something about relationship between artist and manager that I can't even describe it. But for me, it's like it's the most important thing, I believe. Because at the moment, that person that you call your manager, you spend most of your life with or talking to more than your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your family or everything like that. Like they get to know you truly who you are if the relationship's strong. I know there's lots of people, lots of artists, I'm sure you have lots of friends that their relationship is strictly business. But for me, it's like I wouldn't want that.
No.
In a manager.
No.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But I'm happy you found the one that stays around.
Yeah, that's it.
So Drugs from Amsterdam comes out. How does your life change?
I get to buy like a new house, a new car. I'm on a plane a lot more times.
What the
I'm away from home, I guess, half of the year.
Yeah.
But also, I guess it's what I've like envisioned since I was very young. Like I always saw this work in my head. That's why I was so frustrated during Maurice West when it didn't work, because I knew like it was gonna work. And like even the other people, like producers or like label people, they would always tell me I'm gonna stick with you because for me it's not a question if you will be big. It's like it's when.
When.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, whatever. They're just like, that's probably something they tell everyone. But then it started making sense when it actually happened. And like, the only thing I had to do was like keep working, and then the pieces would just fall, So a lot changed, but it doesn't feel weird or anything.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Even you just talk about you stay outside her own house like half of the year. Far enough about her family and these kind of things because he's working, and on this kind of role with these kind of things, I'm just thinking all the time how they are able to do music. Some they are done creating like the full song. I know that the biggest one are not creating the projects. They are maybe getting engaged with others to be able to create that, but not get it but they own only these kind of things, not even mixing, mastering. I'm talking about production stuff. It's weird.
That's also because I did it on a lower scale a couple of times. I feel like for like with Maurice West, I saw all the paperwork, the contracts, the sort of the attention that you get, and like playing in front of big crowds and like being successful on a lower scale too. But
yeah, it's a tough question, or it's a tough situation to be in when you're struggling as an artist, getting through it, knowing that you want more out of this. Because I feel like there's a level of everybody always wanting more, and I think when is that time to make the decision of a new project, of something new? And was there like a specific point in your Maurice West career where you were like, I need to just stop this?
I guess it was during COVID that there wasn't a real decision from my side to sort of start a new project. But the thing was, it happened naturally because I was just making music that didn't fit the whole project anymore.
Yeah.
So I showed my my booking agency, my agents, and Julius. I showed them like a folder of 10 songs, which was probably like some of the stuff that got released last year, like Drugs from Amsterdam, Give Me That Bounce, Metro. Like the early versions of those songs were in there. And the booking agents were like, this is amazing, but we can never sell this on a lineup with, you can never be on a lineup as Maurice West with like all of these other DJs that you adore. Like I was really into Chris Lake at the time, for example. Like no way that if you go on Maurice West Spotify, you'll see like Every Time We Touch remix I did with Hardcore, which is like full on Euro.
I was listening to it this morning.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is it's probably going to become popular again with the whole new sound that's coming back.
Maybe I was ahead of my time. I don't know. Maybe I should have stuck with Maurice West.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
So that was just the thing. It was like a crossroads where I was just gonna go with that kind of music, and we just needed a new name for them to be able to sell it, like to sell the product, which is me, I guess. So Julius told me first, like, hey, I think we're gonna need to change your artist name. And that was like a really hard pill to swallow for me because I'd been working on Maurice West for I think 6 years.
Yeah.
And it sort of feels like you you raised like a kid or like an animal for 6 years and you have to kill
Of
it.
course. Yeah, kill your baby.
Yeah. So but the more I started thinking about it and the more I had like discussions with him about it, the less arguments I started to have like against it. And at one point I was like, okay, well, let's think of a name. And then we just wanted to do Mao. And then one of my friends from Amsterdam was like, no, I need to add like a space and then a P, because my nickname from Amsterdam is Maupye, which just means like Little Mao, like Mao P.
Yeah.
And then now we turned it into like a rapper name or like a more US conform name, I guess. So that's how that happened.
What was that process of like accepting to kill your baby to Maupye? Was that a long time, or was that?
It was it felt sort of nice. I gotta say, it's weird, but like it felt freeing because
your name,
the house stuff I was making before that for me still had to be also Maurice West in some way. So it was sort of in between, like big room sounds, like big synthesizers and whatever on a tech house beat. And then that's why Drugs from Amsterdam was probably the first thing that we released. And it sounds like, you know, there's like a real big room saw in there. Like the only thing I was making all of those years before that was that kind of sound.
Yeah.
But then I found just the coolest way to like have that in a really small section of the song and give it to them for like a really small like moment. They're like, and then it's gone.
Take it away.
Yeah. So it's like, and then the drop feels like smaller than that part, you know? So that's when I was like, oh, there's like magic in this somehow. So that was a funny transition between those two sounds.
Yeah, because when I hadn't heard of Maupye the first time Drugs from Amsterdam came out, like my ears weren't to the ground in that sense, and I just kept on hearing this fucking record, and I was like, who is this guy? Like I'd literally never heard of this guy in my life, and has the biggest record, and of course everyone's like, not everyone, but you're like, how? Like, because there's no such thing as overnight success, right? There's no such thing, no, in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And I was just like, how is this dude like got so big on one record? And then I was told, oh, it's Maurice West. And I was like, makes sense. It completely makes sense. You were saying that you were finishing Give Me That Bounce after Drugs from Amsterdam is out.
Yeah. And
you said you worked out what needed to change. You worked out the formula of like what people want. In your mind, what was that formula that people want?
At that time, for the first time, there was like the hard techno thing was going on.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of like really ravey, like old school sounds in there. And Trim, this French DJ, was doing a lot of like harder trancey stuff. So I sort of heard those really big euphoric sounds make a comeback. And so I was just trying to do synthesizers on
Stream is
house
doing
beats.
hard techno.
And so for Give Me That Bounce, I had the part where I did the whole like the slow down, the LFO thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I just couldn't figure out the arrangement of the rest of the song. And then when Drugs from Amsterdam hit, I could sort of, in my head, I could see the different sections and how it would work in front of a crowd, because also I hadn't been in front of a crowd for pretty long. Like I like there were some shows, but like it was right after COVID, as I said. So I now I got to see all these videos on TikTok of people playing Drugs from Amsterdam and DJs, and I got to play like some cool shows in front of more like house audiences.
Yeah.
And because I feel like that's a really important part of the stuff that we produce. Like it's so intertwined or like focused on the like how a crowd is going to react, apart from the listening on Spotify, of course. But you know,
I think it sparks from the club in a lot of senses of what we're writing and what we're known to put out. It starts from that club aspect.
Yeah.
You mentioned Drugs from Amsterdam was doing well on Twitter before it came out. No, TikTok before it came out.
Yeah.
How
That's
much
the
do
main
you
point.
like? How did that start out on TikTok?
But it's weird.
So
It's so
this
weird.
folder that I told you about with all of the new songs, it was probably like 10 songs.
Yeah.
And I sent that out to, I think, Wade and
Wait,
A-Craze.
Spaniard.
And those were kind of the only guys that I was able to reach with like my Maurice West profile, because I didn't have a Maupye Instagram yet. And then they started playing it. Somehow everyone started playing Drugs from Amsterdam from that folder. That's just the one they picked. And then everyone, like other DJs, they heard it in like the sets, and then they started DMing me, and then sort of Drugs from Amsterdam became its own thing. And then I also sent it to Walker and Royce, and they played at the Brooklyn Mirage. And I remember I was on vacation actually in Greece. I was on the beach.
Yes. Tell about. He was able to send this one to Wade and a Craze. Different kind of points. Even Wade has like a really amount of fans and followers, not only in Spain, outside even. And it was an early version of Drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, it's so weird, man. I'm just stuck on this idea that how, because I'm finding struggles nowadays when you create like a TikTok account, and yeah, you do like a cool music stuff, but it's not easy to spread out because you have to be able to do even a better one video to be able to engage with people and have their attention just for 5 minutes, because even the fucking radio of engagement is like 2 seconds or one. It's crazy, the dopamine thing and this kind of shit that is happening right now. But the main point is you are just getting this one outside half work done and just get success, really successful, and people will start to put this one, even if two of the main DJs at that era at that time just decide to be able to put this one, because a Grace was one of the other guy that's just create like a hit top song nowadays. So wow. Even, it's the point in between. You create something good, and even you have like a good, not the better one, but a good contact with some kind of people, good people that will be able to put this one on festivals, and you can test it this one on festivals to be able to understand how people will react to this one. Yeah, we are on this kind of,
and I saw this one video
journey.
that not even them they posted, but some other account, just like a dance music blog account, whatever, posted it on TikTok of them playing the last.
This
drop
kind of
from
different to
Amsterdam,
Fred again
at
and
the
this kind of
Mirage.
things.
So with the big synths and everything, and like the part that everybody knows the song for.
Yeah.
And I was checking in like every couple minutes, and every time I checked, it had 100,000 views more.
Whoa.
So I was like, this thing is like blowing up, and I need to be ahead of this. So at that moment, I called Julius. I was like, I think we have to change our TikTok page to something with Malp right now, or we at least have to put the song title in the bio or whatever.
Wait.
Blowing up. I checked, it had and Mirage. So with the big synths and everything, and like the part that everybody knows the song for.
Yeah.
And I was checking in like every couple minutes, and every time I checked, it had 100,000 views more.
Whoa.
Where? He just posted this one. I don't understand where.
So I was like, of them playing
on TikTok,
the last
yeah,
drop
but
from Drugs from Amsterdam,
which
at
account?
the Mirage. So with the big synths and everything, and like the part that everybody knows the song for.
Yeah.
And I was checking in like every couple minutes, and every time I checked, it had one. I need to be ahead of this. So at that moment, I called Julius. I was like, I think we have to change our TikTok page to something with Malp right now, or we at least have to put the song title in the bio or whatever. And so we did. And then I texted or like in TikTok message, whatever it is, that guy that posted that video, and asked him like, hey, can you tag me in this? I started commenting on it, whatever, just tried to make people see like, hey, I made this, you know?
Yeah.
And it ended up at like 5.5 million views. And then while I was still on that vacation, the next day on the beach, all of these licensing deals started coming in. So we had the 10 biggest major labels in the world that you can name right now on the phone. Like Julius and I were doing meetings. I was at the beach. I was just like in all of these sort of calls. We had like one after the other, and Julius would call me like, okay, now we're up with Sony, now we're up with EMI, now we're up with Republic, whoever. And it just kept going, and all of these labels trying to tell me like how much they're going to do for me. You know, they all tried to really sell it to me, and they all wanted to license the song. And then I don't know, that's when like the craziness started.
So how the hell did it get onto Repopulate Mars?
I guess it already was signed to Lee before it blew up.
Yeah. Because
he DM'd me too. He's like, hey, I need that Amsterdam track. Can you send it to me? I might want it for the label, so I'm going to test it a few times. And then I was like, sure. I was a big fan of Repopulate, and that was like, I had no...
They are talking about Repopulate Mars. Really tough. I just send music. Really tough.
Sort of power,
I know
whatever.
that I don't have
world,
this kind of level
whatever. I had no
nowadays,
credibility. I had no status. So anything that came to me, I was like really thankful for.
I have, but
so I immediately sent it to him and like followed up on him, like, hey, how did it go? And he started tagging me in all these stories, and then I guess we just got that done. Like it's like, yeah, let's release it.
it's pretty crazy to look at the Repopulate Mars brand because they're behind breaking so many artists.
Crazy.
If you look like yourself, John Summit, Ben Hemsley, who else?
Even Michael Beebe used to release.
Michael Beebe, yeah. Michael Beebe was as well.
Yeah.
And it's crazy what that brand has done.
I feel like Lee Foss honestly is like an outer world creature. Like he's a wizard or something, because if you've met him, I cannot like envision him doing all of these, finding all of these artists and music, and like he just has so much.
Yep.
And like I remember that year or even before we did Drugs from Amsterdam, he was like the number 3 label on Beatport.
It's crazy.
Like competing with like the 2 biggest, like I can't even remember.
Defected.
Yeah, probably.
Defected, yeah. And Touring probably. Yeah. It's mad. And then he also has his like side label as well, which I can't remember what it's called. And they're all like really successful, like and all like everyone that comes through there does something pretty big. Like just it's madness. So moving on through releases, you talk about becoming being online up to Chris Lake and looking up to Chris Lake. It's quite interesting you say that, because Chris also went down the EDM route for many years, and kind of has taken a similar path to where you've at. And then you go and release Dress Code on his label.
Yep.
How do you approach to sign records now? Now you're hot topic. Now everyone wants you. You can probably go and do any deal you want, depending on whatever you kind of ask for. How do you kind of go about releasing music in the right way so it still feels authentic and it still kind of aligns with what you want to do with Malp?
So for Dress Code is a good example, because that one is pretty recent. And when I made that song and I tried to sort of
crazy,
look at
it's really
what it would
crazy.
do, or like sort of what world it could live in on a label side, I felt like it could really like work on Black Book. And I love their sound and what they're doing. So it's not really about my my sort of position. It's more about like what I feel like is a cool thing to do, and what are cool people to work with, and what's like. Yeah. After Drugs from Amsterdam, I just try to sort of find the most like dance culture, like the most culturally important labels for dance. So I immediately went to talk to Defected and to like the more like the labels that have like communities around them, you know? Yeah. Because that's what I felt like would be a nice way to
Effective Tool Room,
like go from the big Drugs from Amsterdam commercial thing to a nice career.
Own labels of Chris Lake and these kind of things that they have.
Have you ever thought about starting your own label?
Yes, but I'm giving that some more time until I have everything like properly arranged for that, and like the back end and all the boring, you know, the
admin.
Yeah, the admin.
Let's talk about the latest record, On Again.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit more in depth of this record? It seems
that's a funny bridge, because that idea started out because I was doing a remix for Chris Lake that I never finished.
Okay.
Which was for the song with like the telephone sounds, like ring ring goes the telephone.
Yeah.
That one, because he gave me.
I think I remixed that record.
You did?
Yeah, I think so.
It's probably better than whatever I came up with. I could never figure it out. And then, but Chris gave me the stems and was just like, "Hey, you want to try something?" I was like, and I kept trying, but there was always this one sort of bass line that I had, or it's like an acid thing in that project. And then I was listening to a lot of 070 Shake.
I don't know who that is.
That is a girl from, I think, New York, and it's more like rap.
Okay.
And she was featured on a Kanye song, and after that she did a song with Swedish House Mafia too. The Heaven Takes You Home one, I think.
Okay.
And she has a really unique voice, but she has these really obnoxious like chord progressions, and sometimes it was just 2 chords, and that's what I tried to like mess around with like on that acid bass line.
Yeah.
And that's how sort of from that remix for Chris, there was like, I felt like, okay, this is turning into something original that I want to do. And I started like writing vocals, recording vocals, and there was like a lot of different stuff in there, but the one that stuck the most was just the hook that I have for On Again. And I let that, you know, like sit for a while, and I didn't think about it. But then when I went back after a couple of weeks, it was that hook that stood out. And I just tried messing around with putting that hook just in like on top of that beat, and trying like a higher register, so like a higher octave and a lower octave, and like switching between those. And like a couple of times I accidentally turned that one on and turned the other one off mid-sentence. And you can sort of hear that in the like the final production now still. But where the inspiration came from was all of these sort of rap bootlegs that I think Clooney plays a lot. Yeah. And there's this one guy called Fallon. He made like a Rich Motherfucker edit, and all it is the vocal with a lot of reverb, and then it does a little glitch, and then it goes into the beat, you know?
Yeah.
And it worked, and it worked so well when I played it. And then I was like, why is nobody making like original hip hop house?
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, trap house.
And it's like classic New York hip house from back in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was
This is
so
a mix
fucking good.
between the
Miami Bass period
housey
as well.
80s,
So that was sort
90s,
of the inspiration for it. And then
dance.
I'm in LA for the BMO show with John Summit that I did support for. And there was this one guy that I met a couple weeks before who was like, yeah, I produce for Kanye, I produce for Travis. And I'm like, sure you do. But I'm always sort of like thinking about, I give them the advantage of the doubt, you know?
Yeah.
And so I look at his Instagram and he has all these like gold certifications or platinum certifications for these Travis Scott and Kanye West songs. I'm like, oh shit, he's legit. So I stayed in touch with him. And then when I'm in LA, he FaceTimes me and I don't pick up because I was like busy doing something else. He's like, pick up, I'm with Mike Dean. I'm like, oh shit. So I call him back and he just hands the phone over to Mike Dean, who's in that studio that I've always seen on those live streams, like with all the synthesizers and whatever. And we just start talking about nothing. He's super cool and like interested, whatever. And he's like, you should come by the studio later this week. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Why not?
No way.
So we planned that. I get the most expensive Uber ever just because I've never met this guy and I want to like flex and not, you know, I want to pull up in like a big SUV. So I do that. I pull up to his house, like huge LA house. He's smoking weed. He's super chill. And I show him, first thing I do is I show him On Again in the studio. He just starts playing on all of his synthesizers, which are always on apparently. Yeah. And then the other guy who introduced me to him is like, yo, you should hit record. So Mike starts recording for 3 hours straight to like a loop that I made of On Again. And when he's done, he's just like, you want the project file? I'm like, yes, please. Sure. And he airdrops it to me. And then, you know, that's it. And I just have all the synthesizer parts and whatever, and I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah, I just looked at the credits, Mike Dean on there.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Robert Pronk. Yeah. I've seen he's on a lot of your projects.
He's on everything.
Yeah, and I kind of want to talk about that because I think there's something weird in this industry where a lot of artists work with producers, engineers, and a lot of like creatives, yet don't really talk about it. And I think it's really important to talk about it.
Yeah.
Can you explain your relationship with him?
Okay. He's been on board since Maurice West, actually. And I used to be with Sony Publishing in the Netherlands.
That's weird, man.
There was this one guy who was really good at putting two random people together. And but he would already see that it could work. And he did that for me and Robert. And Robert used to play in a band called Causes, which is, they have a UK singer, I think, and they had a hit called Teach Me How to Dance With You.
Yeah.
And they had a whole like career. They had tours and whatever, but they split apart. And at that point, he was just doing sessions, but he was only doing sessions because he likes making music. Yeah. And he's a teacher at a tech school, actually.
Oh, damn.
So he was not doing sessions to make a hit and make money, whatever. So we were sort of in the same state of minds because the first session I tell him,
yes, this is crazy, man. That's something that I was talking later on about, just before, about how contacts help you to be able to do these kind of things, how you create something special, and later on maybe you have the chance to be able to use this kind of superpower that record gives to you to be able to do more proper things on this way. And even what is fun to me about the Robert thing is it's a tech guy similar to me, what I'm doing right now. And yeah, this kind of environment or work is more focused on these kind of things, and it's weird because maybe you have luck and you stay as an artist and you do these kind of things, but maybe don't. And what I just have in particular clear is that maybe you have the ability, maybe you have the capability to be able to do this kind of things, but sometimes you are stuck at some point, at some level, and you need someone to be able to reintroduce yourself. This industry in particular, with this high standard level, has like unique gems, unique diamonds that appears time to time just because people like it. But not always all the people are creating this kind of themes by their own self. Not only they are working or have the inspiration or have these themes or have like a conversations, something in particular that you can use to be able to to learn better, to be able to do different kind of things. And that's something that I really like about this conversation. He's showing how the industry works nowadays. You have some lucky bedroom producer that, yeah, do the right thing, but in other chance you have maybe the solution on a manager, but because you are doing really good music, and that's the key point, the point in the middle, in between of this kind of two themes, two like main ideas, is like you have to do good music because you have the contacts, because you have the ability, because you learn from others, because you are able to work with others, because you always keep chatting and reintroducing to others. But at the same time, you have to be able to have like the contacts, the manager stuff, the different kind of main idea and things to be able to be capable of spread this good music, to be able to show others the chance of what are you able to do, to be able to get ideas on how to put this one outside. Maybe just because you put this one on TikTok on an special account, maybe because you just share this one to really good producers and DJs, and they put this one on festivals, and some random guy just record your song, and yeah, it gets views. So it's something in the middle all the time. You have to be capable of create good music, manager, and have luck. And that's something that it's weird because, yeah, I just have the feeling about myself and these kind of things. I just thought that, yeah, I have the ability. I know that I'm capable of. I know really, really well how I want this one for so many years, how I'm working in, and how I'm get introduced to others, how I present my music, and how I show my emotions, and others will like it or don't. But that's the main point and the main reason of these kind of things. But maybe you don't have the chance. You have to be working so hard for so many years. I've been working for so many years. I'm not giving up, but at the same time, it's kind of this circle that is going on and on and on. And yeah, it's particular interesting to be able to see this one, to hear these kind of things, to learn about, and at the same time, yeah, they work with some random guy, also a really important guy. They have like the stems about the info that they record on this period of time, and to be able to use it, to have like an idea of other just create on your own song.
I don't just want to make like a stupid song that A&Rs will go crazy for. I just want to make some weird stuff and see if we can bring something fresh to the table.
Yeah.
And he loved that immediately, and he was one of the people that always stuck around, and he always used to tell me like, we're gonna have a big song, but I just don't know when it's gonna happen. But I'm just gonna stick with you, and I have like complete trust in you, and
stick with you.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And then he would always be my sort of extra pair of ears. He still is, by the way.
That's crazy.
For me, it was perfect because like I'm such an overthinker, and I could always just like send him ideas, and he would be like, maybe you can like do that and do that. And he has no knowledge of dance music, so he would always approach it from like, how would a band play this, or how would he likes hip hop a lot and like more like the older stuff. He's not up to date with like the Travis Scott and Gunna and whoever, but he's a bass player, so I always call him the pocket master, because I can always give him a bass line and he will be like, nah, this doesn't work with your drums, or this doesn't work with the vocal. If you change that note to that, it'll be perfect. And he can always fix that for me. So
I love that.
And
I feel like there's some songs where I bring him in like when the song's already 80% there, and he just has those. For example, for Drugs from Amsterdam, he has those like killer last minute additions that just turn it into a whole. For example, we already had MC Stretch on Drugs from Amsterdam, and then Robert was like, we need like 2 more sentences from him in like the beginning somewhere and like in the back somewhere, and then we need that in the arrangement to sort of keep it fresh and switch it up and blah blah blah. Because he thinks in like a more sort of radio mind,
something.
I guess.
Yeah.
So there's like a really nice balance between us. But yeah, he's amazing. Like I love talking about.
That's something really important. What I was talking about, and it's just the arrangement. Because when you create something, even you have the idea that, yeah, and that yes answered the question that I was asking. He just have someone to be able to have like the main idea to be able to rearrange how top quality sound will be on Dragson from Amsterdam and other records, just to be able to understand, yeah, we have an intro. How is the intro? How you have the length about it, what elements you should add or don't. This main idea maybe is a cool one, but how we should be able to reinforce to get the listener the ability to be able to, oh them, now it's starting, now I can hear that on a radio station. So that's the key point on everything. That's something that I am even working on, trying to work every day, just to be able to do like the proper sound, not just because you have the sound, because you have the perfect melody on the perfect chord progression, just because, yeah, you understand how this one will be arranged and how this one will work, which part will work on TikTok, others on radio station, on dance club, on festivals, because these environments are totally different but have something in common, this one. And when you use this formula over and over again, and that's something that they are doing nowadays, you have the key point to be able to have like a successful career, to be able to do right spot, right things, and right music. And that's something that is frustrating. And that's something that I even like so much.
Him, and I love. I just hate the fact that there's people that DM him and they're like, they've seen him in the credits for my songs and they think they can now get a hit record if they hit a road that pay him a lot or something. But it's funny because he always sends those messages to me, and we're like, yeah, whatever.
I think that's the thing, though, isn't it? Is again, it goes back to what we were talking about management. Yeah. It's just relationships, and I think you wouldn't be you without him. He wouldn't be him without you. And I think that is the beautiful thing about a relationship that works really well. Is
the key point.
Whatever you're great at, he's not great at, and whatever he's great at,
the relationship,
you're not great at. And that's so important when it comes to music.
Difficult
or life
in this industry nowadays.
There's a lot of artists out there that don't talk about that relationship that they have with their engineer,
even with
their
the
producer,
listener,
with whoever that is. And I think
so,
it actually
so difficult.
It's kind of depressing, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like I've had it in a situation where like you pretty much write somebody's whole catalog and then they don't talk about it, don't talk about the relationship, because I think it's so important that relationship is spoken about, because it's so normal in this day and age for people to be working on records. It's actually abnormal, the fact that people write all their music by themselves. It's unheard of that actually happens. There's a process of multiple people in the creative processes. You go back to the Beatles, it wasn't just one person writing everything. It's crazy how this kind of scene now is kind of polarizing, where
angry.
That's why I love the Spotify credits, though, because like anyone can now sort of dig in, and there's also this sort of structure where some artists will like have an actual guy that produces with them, but they in the deal they don't have to credit them like on like the producer credits or the writer credits or whatever. But I've always told Robert like I want you to like be on here too, because it's like it's a team effort and like we're doing this stuff together.
And he even mentioned something that is happening nowadays. Some really huge tracks, even some huge artists are having really good tracks that they are doing with other producers. I knew some of them, and I knew even some of the top artists that they are working with some producers that are ghost producers that stay back on the line, and they are doing really great things, but they don't appear even on the credits, because you will not have to be able to appear on the credits, because if they choose this kind of deal, it's like that. And that's something that happens, and that's something that even really matters to me, because I knew that I have a really good idea and product to be able to put out music. Even Fred again is doing these kind of things with Skrillex, with Fruitet, with we are Parisi. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, and that's something that we have to think about. And that's something that I don't even know how to answer, because I'm doing by my own all the time. I'm doing remixes on YouTube all the time. I don't publish my own tracks that I have a ton of them. Maybe a ton of them they are bad, but yeah, it's like that. You have ideas from others, and it's weird.
Of course, it's not a marketing thing for me. Like, I'm not going to be like, me and Robert made this song, every song I made.
No.
But it's cool to sort of have everyone on the Spotify credits and like let people see like, oh, it's a team sort of.
I think it's so important, man. And it's nice that you're open to talk about it, because so many people aren't willing to talk about it.
If I don't talk about it, probably people will be like, there's already some people that are like, Maupi as a ghost producer. He doesn't make any other music himself. I'm like, I've been doing this since I was 14.
There's always going to be that person.
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be those people out there. The minute somebody has a slight bit of success, there's going to be those people that just question. Yeah, of course. And that just means you're doing it right. Like, I've had quite a few females on here, female DJ producers, and they get it the worst. Like, I genuinely don't understand how much shit the females get in this industry. Is gross. From a bunch of dudes that don't do anything in this industry, because it's fucking weird. The internet is a strange place. Yeah. But I think I think it's important to kind of shout as loud as possible that this is a team game, and you can't do it by yourself. No one can do it by themselves.
And it's so much fun to make music with other people.
So much better. Yeah, so much better. I didn't for a long time. I always just wrote shit by myself. And only recently, like my latest single and all my future singles for the next like year, I guess, really, I wrote with a bunch of people, and it's just like so much more fun. Yeah. Just being able to just like somebody that's great at something. Yeah, it's just like that's what it's about, right? It's just building community, building friends. And if you write a shit record, but you come out the studio with a new friend or a new conversation that you wouldn't have ever had before, like that's priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it,
dude. Let's wrap this up. But like, congrats on everything, man. Keep it up, like
keep it up and these kind of things. But yeah, like,
it's amazing to see. I love people winning in this industry, in an industry that's hard, that doesn't allow it to be an easy industry to be successful. No. Keep it up, man. And yeah, always here for a chat.
Thank you, bro. Hope to see you soon somewhere, by the way.
For sure, man. For sure.
Probably,
keep safe,
probably
man.
in the US.
Probably. Big ups, man. Keep safe. See you soon.
See ya.
Stay on.
Damn. Yeah, and that's it. Oh, even this one is unreleased. And it's not maybe a good one. But yeah, that's something that I would like to get out here, because it's something that really matters to me, as I hopefully show you. And this is kind of the main point, that you are creating things with an emotion, with even the not knowing how to be able to reach out to people, even with your own frustrations, because you are thinking, I'm doing it wrong, well, it's my brand that I will have to create with this kind of things, with this kind of melodies, or should I change it? Should I thought on another style? Should I give up and that's it? And I've been doing music for 15 years. These last 1 years I have more time, or I take the risks to be able to do this more. And it's something that it's draining all the time, at least because you don't have like a record deal. You don't reach out something that in particular will show that, yeah, I'm doing it, I'm in the case, I'm working on something that is worth it. And at the same time, it's kind of so cool to see that music happens and this top records happens because someone just decided to quit on some period and change it. They have the chance maybe, because nowadays I'm doing this one because I just have this kind of vision of what I want. I'm mixing between things that people just get into the club, get into the festival, get into the radio, and yeah, there's something different. Think that wow, this one is common. Oh damn, impressive, different. That no one expect. Not something that is in particular in only one direction. You have different kind of ideas, things, even ways to express yourself and feel. That's something that I would like to tell, and that's something that I'm working on, even with the remix of Artemas. The problem is like when you do this one by your own only, it's kind of hard. Even nowadays that the standard is quite high, really it is, and it's something that damn how you use like the cheat code to be able to improve it faster, to switch up in between and create ideas that will change the style of what nowadays people are doing. And that's something that Maupi even talk about. So yeah, it's cool to understand how the industry is working, how the business is working, and at the same time how he has the chance to be able to change. He just took that path, even doing really well, just on my opinion, with Mauricio West, because even I don't have nothing nowadays, and I'm just thinking that damn, you have like good recognition of big labels, big artists. It's really cool. I really understand the problem of not feeling good with some kind of ideas and projects that is not getting you at some point that you are right now, because he's now living the life as a producer and DJ, having a really huge amount of opportunities. He has have like really good amount of listeners. 5 million monthly listeners are extremely good. He's able even to get involved in really huge festivals and maybe just reach out to the main lineup. And that's something that I just think about, that we always want, maybe not everyone, but it's something that I really feel of that I would like to be able to do at some point. And yeah, in the meantime, doing tracks that hope that are well enough, remixes, but huge tracks to be able to reach out to this kind of certain level. It's really important. So yeah, music is everything. It's the connection with people, not only with someone who is listening, with someone that you are creating on the same place at the same time and trying to get involved. So yeah, I just hope that one day this will happen to me, and in the meantime just learning from this kind of theory that others have and ideas and experience that they have, even if they are more younger than you nowadays. But yeah, that's really cool, man. That's it. That's what I want to talk today, and that's something that I just want to put out on the internet, talking about this podcast and this episode in particular, because I really like it. I just want that people get known me better, and at someday we'll reach out to this kind of clip and tell, yeah, Kavan was talking about these kind of things before on time, at that time where this kind of things happens. And at the same time, I just think that Maulby just did a really, really good job. I really like it. How he just think about it. And yeah, this is life. This is how it gets. And we will see. So just keep working. That's the main idea. Hope you like it. Hope you like this kind of emotional thing, and at the same time really instructive ideas on the music business and how artists work nowadays, and even from the start of the times. Yeah, that's it. See you soon. And if you like this kind of sessions, leave comments, talk about this kind of ideas if you want. Tell me what you think about, and if you want to come with me on these online streamings, Twitch is here for you all the time. I like to share these kind of things because I like to have a straight connection with people, and even to be able to talk with others on real time and get involved on this kind of weird path that I choose when I started so many years ago. That is music career and electronic music or whatever music that you listen today. Hope you like it. Until then, take care. Bye.